All right, so let's get started. I am LaDonna McAbee, your networking expert, her host for the Millionaire Marketplace. I'm so excited to have the marketplace today and to have Margaret here to speak about being the best version of yourself. And I think this is an excellent day for this because later today, we have our clarity class this afternoon for all of you that have registered for the clarity class. Now, I know that Grace, Tamara, and Dar have already attended the clarity class, but because they've already paid for it, they get to take it again if they want. And I guarantee you, ladies, if you do it again, you will learn something because you forget or you don't absorb it the first time, or what if you bring up a different kind of question for me? You never know. So Margaret, I know you and Dr. LaDonna has not registered. It is not too late. It is a 4-week course and you get a certification when you're done. Tamara has finished the 4-week course. She has already received her email copy. I'm still trying to find a printer in Tamara's area to print her a copy of it so she can have a real colored copy to hang on the wall. If not, Tamara, I'm going to have it done here and mail it to you myself because I want you guys to have a real colored certification certificate for this 4-week course to hang on your wall. It makes you look better. It makes you look more established when you have these certifications, all right? With that said, we all know who everyone is here. So we are going to have the next 25-ish minutes for Miss Margaret Thorli. Come on down, Margaret.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Just a quick question. You're talking about the classes. Can you just refresh us about the classes when I finish talking and we put that on the link?
Yes, I will put that in the link while you are talking.
Thank you.
My friend.
Thank you. Good afternoon from the UK. All right, because it's afternoon for us, but it's been a pleasure and a privilege of being here. My name is Margaret Thorli, the CEO of Hope and Restoration, which is a non-profitable organization. I'm incredibly passionate about working with single father men, as well as ladies. So I got to put that in because we're all ladies here. So thank you so much. What I want to speak to you about today is how do we find the best version of who we are? Now, this is, as I put the topic out there, I'm thinking, wow, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I'm going to share my journey with you, if you permit me. Imagine that you came to join your parent at a very early age, maybe by 11, 12. And there was a storm in the house. I always call it like a storm. They're busy fighting, forgetting about the kids. You're worried coming home because you're not sure what you're going to be meeting at home. You don't want none of your friends to walk home with you, but you're quite willing to walk home with your friends, listening to their problem. Then all of a sudden, the whole family breaks up. And you, the odd one out, as a stepdaughter, not being in the country for a long time, you end up in a foster home, one foster home, another foster home, and while you're trying to learn the language at the same time. It was one of your stressful things. But as I went through that journey, and I remember at the age of 14, promising myself that I'm going to survive. How? I don't know. Nobody's ever told me how to survive. But all I know, I got to survive. Homeless at 14, no fault of my own. Thank goodness social service found me at the time that they did. In fact, they found me in a hospital. And I remember them closing my eyes really tight as this social worker comes in and says, "Hey, are you okay? We've been looking for you." But still you have that fear inside you. You're not opening your eyes to see who's talking to you because you're not sure. And then eventually you're moved from there to a foster home. And imagine, you've never truly seen a white person before, but you're going to be living in a white family home. How do you feel? How do you behave? What does it look like? How do I fit into this? You have all those questions coming in. And then finally, you go into your destination. They find your home. You're kind of moving into 15. You miss school. You missed so much. And then you saw things that you shouldn't see as a child at that age. But deep inside your guts, you're feeling, I gotta survive. I have to survive. But how do I survive? How do I do it? Imagine you making your decision at the age of 14, coming up to 15, saying, I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna be a number. I'm not gonna be Margaret number 1 or number 2, but I'm a person. I'm not gonna take drugs. I'm not gonna be a prostitute. I'm not gonna share those things you're doing because I'm not part of it. You truly do not understand why you're making this decision because you're still too young. And each time your face is set like a flintstone, ready to fight anybody because you don't want to be bullied. All you know is just to survive. Put 3 steps in place: determination, determination, determination. And that becomes your guidelight. And as you walk forward, the next one, I'm not going to look at success, how the world look at success. Because what does that mean to me? All I need now, my success, is saying no to drugs. My success is saying no to prostitution. My success is saying no, I'm not going to be part of all what I'm seeing here in this children's home. I'm not going to be part of that. But as time progressed and you moved on, you started your own business at a very early age, 21. What do you do? But successfully, you run your own business. So through the journey, as I change, as your journey change, as you walk forward, you're saying, right, what do I do? How can I become the best version of me? How can I let go the hate? How can I let go the bitterness? How can I let go that my parent has let me down? How do I do that? Then you have this massive question that nobody can answer for you. And you have to find the answer yourself to become the best version of who you are. Imagine starting this business at the age of 21 because you decided you want to change what people think of Black people don't wear makeup, because there never was any for us there. And you change the whole of that dynamic. You become a trendsetter. You're traveling in the US, buying stuff. You became a representative from the US to the UK, bringing cosmetics. That's when the penny drops for me. Wow. Being the best version of yourself is not about you. It's about what you do out there. What lives are you touching? What lives are you changing? Changing that narrative that women of color does not wear any makeup. Kind of like, at age 21, 22, kind of like, yeah, in the chest out, everything, done it. But another hurdle came through, having a child. again, you're lost. How do I find myself? Who am I as you go through that journey? But I then learned as time progressed, as I mature, as I got to know God. Back then I didn't. It was all about Margaret. It was all about Margaret surviving. Gone past the surviving now. Margaret's making money. Margaret's doing this. Margaret became the first Black woman, single parent to own a pub outright, to own it. The one thing I realized through the journey as I come to know the Lord, He's always been there. He had always guided me, because the people that He put around me through the journey in the children's home, through the journey of saying no to many stuff, through that journey, these people wrapped their arms around me, even though when I didn't know these people. But God made sure they know me, and they were there. As I begin to now, our kids all grown up, and I'm at home, hence why my book came out, A Single Mother in the Dating Game, how to maneuver the dating minefield. It's like, I'm a home alone mom. Oh my God, I'm a home alone mom. What do I do? What do I do? And I think that's where the penny dropped. This is not now about you, Margaret. This is about you finding what God wants you to do. And one of the things God told me when I discovered, all right, it's not that you. Yes, you're a home alone mom. Kids all grown up. Thank you, God. But this is a time now to thank God. Express your gratitude. Take time out to know God, to study His word. Allow Him to be the leader of your life, of your direction. And as I begin to do that, I find a lot more relaxed, a lot more at ease, a lot more peaceful, and things are going the way I want them to be. Because I begin to understand the best version of me is not all about me. It's all about God, making Him the center of my focus, of my journey. Taking ownership, the wrongs, the mistakes that I made, but above all to say, you know what, these mistakes, they were a platform for me to stand on, for me to elevate, to be in the next level, to support, to encourage other people that comes behind me. And I think that's where I found the best version of who Margaret is. Because no longer thinking about me, it's about thinking other people out there. What are their needs? Where they want to be? So what is the best version of us? I think when we die to ourselves and make God the center of everything, everything begins to fall in place, begins to fall in line. And you know what? Things become so easy to do. The best version of who you are is when you die to yourself and make God the center of your focus. I'm a testimony of that. When I stand and teach, and I tell people, I love it when I'm teaching, I ask my students, what background do you think I come from? What was my childhood like? And they all say this most amazing stuff. Oh, you got your parents, they were supportive, they this and that. And I would laugh and I would say, thank you so much. That is wonderful. Actually, I grew up in a children's home and you can just see their face change. Actually, I was homeless at the age of 14 and I could barely speak English. And their face changes. And they say, wow, how did you get here? I didn't get there by my strength or by my might. but the strength of God has brought me to this journey to where I am today. Now that's when I know that is the best version of Margaret, is having God first in every area of my life. And I think for all of us here, it exactly is. LaDonna, I love what you do. I remember telling LaDonna when I first started the event, honestly, although that was the first day of the event, and I kept focusing on this woman. I don't know you, but there was something about this woman. Everything, yeah. I'm like, never mind what was happening there. Never mind how I felt. But there was something about this person. And I kept looking at her. And unbeknown to you, what you were doing, you were speaking to me on my first event. And yet you have not met me. Yet you have not spoken to me. But you were speaking to me by your action. Why was that? Because God knows that I'm going to be connected with you. He knows how I felt, how uncomfortable I was feeling, not quite sure. But having focusing on this woman who doesn't know me, actually seeing me for the very first time, other than the pictures, and yet she doesn't even know she was making a change in my life. And that's how God works. That's how God, because the light was coming. And I kept saying, why? And I keep hearing the word say, focus on her. Don't focus what was happening on the platform. And to be able to hear God's voice on that time, at that moment, is reminding me that He's inside me and He's helping me to become the best version of who I am, and the right people He's bringing to me to take me to the next journey. How do we get our best version? I want to leave this with you. It's when you die to yourself and allow God to be the center of your focus, the center of your life. There is a new person, radiant inside you, bursting forth. And that's how we become the best version of who we are. Honestly, thank you so much, LaDonna, for always being there in your own gentle, soft, and quiet way. I appreciate you. And to all of you ladies here that are here, I do appreciate you. You welcome me in the family. Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to share with you today and fulfilling my purpose, my destiny, with my journey with you. Thank you, ladies. God bless.
Oh my gosh, Margaret, I have chills running down my arms and my spine. I feel like that I am dressed up and in church right now. I truly do. And the testimony that you gave about me during that just makes me aware that I am at the right place with the right people. I truly do. Thank you so much. And Dar just gave you a big thumbs up, let me tell you. That was brilliant, Margaret. And your story, it's how in the world I think back and I think even about my story, how did I make it through? And I know you probably think that sometimes too. And we know it could only been God because we were young when this happened. We were young when we had to dig ourselves out of the trenches. So, I mean, we all have a story and we all think back, how in the world did I ever overcome that? Even things that my husband and I have had to go through as a married couple, having a family and different things happening in our lives. I'm still recovering over my granddaughter leaving the family on her choice. She's safe, but I miss her. I'm still going through that as it's a tragedy. And how am I ever going to get through it? Well, I pray every night. God, give me the strength and give me the knowledge and the ability to overcome what, is going on. So God is the answer for me. I know that for sure. no matter if your God is not my God, that's okay. Everyone has a God of some kind that they believe in. I think we all believe in the same God here on the screen though, but who has questions or comments? I'm going to call on Tamara first because I know Tamara has to leave early and she's dying to say something.
You know, I got my Margaret right there. That's my girl right there. This lady right here is so awesome. She, I mean, she's the reason I have a new business picture right there. But she, normally I'm up and around and I know I got up to go to let my dogs in, but they were outside throwing a fit. But you kept my whole attention. And I'm not usually, I don't usually get, everybody doesn't always get all of my attention as much as I want it to be. You just made me just, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was like, oh, you are speaking my language, girlfriend. So I have no questions, but you know I had to say something. And Margaret, you my girl. Oh,
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And who else? Who wants to go next? Grace, come on down.
Margaret, that was a wonderful testimonial. And yes, you're right. You have to die to yourself and allow God to be the center of your life. And I was just wondering, you didn't mention from what country you came where you did not, where English was not your first language.
I'm from West Africa, Sierra Leone. You probably would hear more about Sierra Leone, Ebola. Till
Yes,
then,
actually, on WhatsApp, I have a group from Sierra Leone, and they give me all the news from Sierra Leone. So
yeah.
I know French would be, well, I don't know if French would be your first language, although French is an official language of Sierra Leone.
No, it isn't. I mean, I'm going to go through the history for us to do that. What they did, they divided the country. Sierra Leone was a massive country, but we, Sierra Leonean, we came under the British. And
Yes.
then you got the French, the Congolese that came on the Congolese. That's where you get them speaking French. And then you've got Liberia. Liberia came under the Americans. So when there was war in Liberia, you find a lot of, they're still Sierra Leoneans. You find the US had to step in Liberia and open passage for those people to come to the US. So we all fragmented. So when we had the war, then the UK then had to step into Sierra Leone to stop the war because we came under the UK. So I speak, my native language is broken English. We call it Pidgin English. So it's still English. It's not as refined as it is now. So yes, so to getting to understand people to understand me back then as a young person, it was rather quite difficult. So yeah. So I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa.
Wow, that's awesome. So the war is what brought you to the UK?
No, the history as it is after the war, after the Second World War, obviously Britain needs to be built again. So what they then do is any place they've colonized, it was bringing them down. So they brought our parents during the 60s. My parent came through the 60s to work in schools because they were both teachers already, to work in schools. And then after that, 10, 15 years later, then the kids we started to follow. So they really came through after the war to be able to
Okay, so
build.
that's a big journey, man, a big journey. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, wow, you're going to have to give us that story one day of, because that is very interesting when you can learn about things like that. I mean, that's incredible. Grace, Dar, you had your hand up. Unmute, please. There you go.
Yep, it's different on my phone. Margaret, wow, you need to be a storyteller. I
Thank you.
sadly, you just have the right, what do you call them? The right ups and downs when you say your words. Inflections. Thank you, Abby. And I sadly had to miss little bits and pieces, but I'll be listening to the replay because I want to hear the first part of the story. Yeah, so you really need to be a storyteller. People get paid big bucks telling stories, reading from books, and so on. So your voice was just right for it. Very
Absolutely.
intense. Very
Yeah.
intense.
So, Dr. LaDonna, come on down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unmute Dr. LaDonna.
It didn't want to.
I get it.
Margaret, I enjoyed your story very much. And as you were speaking, I was thinking about some things that have happened in my life. And of course, God is always working in all of our lives. Some of the things that have happened, I think God has always sent angels to my rescue. Because if he hadn't, I might not be here today, to be perfectly truthful. And that long line of that's behind me wouldn't exist, 15 grandchildren and 10 great grandchildren. They wouldn't exist if I had not listened. And it's not easy, when you were sharing that, I was thinking about how many times had I not paid attention to the message that had been sent to me, that my life could have turned out totally different. And I imagine that you were experiencing some of those same things when you thought back to what had happened. Too many of us don't listen, and that's what causes so much problems in the world today. But you're one of the fortunate ones. I am totally glad that you did listen, because you're here now sharing your message with us. And it's a reminder that no matter where you come from, no matter the environment, no matter the circumstances, if you set your mind and focus it in the direction that you want to go, you can do it. LaDonna's done it. I don't know the backstory of the others, but they're all here because they made a decision as to what direction they wanted to go in. It reminds me of that poem about the Cherokee grandfather who tells us, his grandson, that there are two wolves living inside of us and they fight every day. And then the grandson looks at his grandfather and he said, but which one wins? Because he tells him the bad one is evil, jealous, and all this kind of stuff. And the good one is kind and positive. And so he says, which one wins, grandfather? And he says, the one that you feed. So we have to remember.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Woo,
Absolutely.
powerful right there, Dr. LaDonna. Oh my gosh. It's
So thank you again, Margaret, for sharing your story. I enjoyed it very much. And I agree, you are a great storyteller.
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to add that, my journey, no one would ever believe that I would be doing what I'm doing 40 years ago, 50 years ago. But, I was very naive when my mom did teach me a few things. And one of those things is God will always answer your prayers. You may not always like the answers you get, but he will always answer. And God's always there in hearing your prayers. But this is the thing. I was naive because I was listening, I thought, but God wasn't talking to me. And I'm like, why are you not answering me? I want you to sit with me on the couch and talk to me and answer me. And I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting it for so many years. And I have made so many mistakes in the past because I didn't take the time to listen. And ladies, I try so hard to teach my daughters differently. But I had my daughters young. I was 21 and 24 when I had my daughters. I mean, to me, that was young, but to most people, it was back in my time, that was old. Especially being a military wife. Most of those had their babies, 18, 19. But I taught them to be better than me because I had the knowledge and wanted to share it with them. And now I do the same thing with my grandchildren. And sometimes I bump heads with my daughters because since I live a different life now, I'm teaching even different than what I did to my daughters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Grown,
Yes.
grown, and I've learned so much. And especially now in the career I have, and I'm online with so many different personalities and so many different beliefs, I'm learning even more. And I just hope that everyone's doing that. They're sharing what they have with us. I share everything I have in this head with you ladies, with my girls, with my husband, with my children. But you know what? I always tell my children and my grandchildren, I've told my girls, you guys know I have two very strong women, but we don't always see eye to eye. And I've been married to my husband over 41 years and we don't always see eye to eye, but I always tell them, and my poor son-in-law that's been in my life now 10 years, going, living with my daughter and married to my daughter, the total, I tell him, I'm going to tell you what I think. No matter if you want to hear it or not. You get to choose if you utilize it. If you don't utilize it, I will be here to pick you up and pamper you and get you back on track. I hope you will listen. Guess what, ladies? Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Tamara, don't you have children? Sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't.
I have a young son that does not listen at all, period.
I have an older daughter. She'll come back to me after she doesn't listen and say, oh my gosh, Mom, why didn't I just do it your way? Don't know, but now you have a chance to do it my way next time. It's not that I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I've lived the life for 59 years and I have experienced a lot of crap. A lot of crap I shouldn't have experienced. I shouldn't have done. What I have learned from, what I did do, what I have helped with. Grace, I'm sure you have children or nephews or nieces that don't always do what you think they should do. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I keep telling my son that he shouldn't eat so much sugar and that he should eat like raw vegetables and fruits and things like that instead of all the
All the crap.
all the produced foods, but he won't listen to me and he's like totally out of shape. And it just it annoys me because he won't follow that advice, that dietary advice that I give him.
Dr. LaDonna, did you ever have children or grandchildren that didn't listen to your advice, to your knowledge?
My baby son, I was just thinking about it today. The boy is 50 with grandchildren, and he still thinks he can just go out and do what he wants and not suffer the consequences. And I keep telling him, look, you didn't grow up with your children. It's time for you to grow up. You got grandchildren now. You can't be doing the crazy stuff that you've been doing before. But when you were talking about how you used to get upset about a God not seeming to be hearing you, that was me totally. Because I was always trying to do what I thought Jesus wanted me to do. And I would talk to God and whatnot. I would actually get jealous of people who would say, I talked to God, I told him this, and then he gave him his answer. He told me I needed to do blah, blah, this. And I'm going, how come you talk to them and you're not talking to me? I'm trying so hard to be the way you want me to be. How come you don't talk to me? I didn't realize that he had been all along. I just wasn't listening because I'm thinking he's going to talk to me one way. He was talking to me another.
Exactly right. That is exactly how I felt, my sister. We are sisters when it comes to that. I was waiting. I was sitting there thinking, well, what do you want? I do that with my granddaughter right now. God, what do you want me to do about my granddaughter? What should I be doing? And I'm not hearing it. I know he's saying it, and I'm taking it patiently. Patiently. They will, her dad used to, like, every month would answer my text and let me know she was okay and what she was doing. I keep texting every month, and he hasn't texted me since Thanksgiving. But I keep texting. And you know why I keep texting? Because one day I hope she walks through that door and she's going to say, well, you didn't even try to reach me. And I can say, oh, yes, I did. Here it is. Here it is. Now, I don't know if that's what God wants me to do, but I hope that's the message I'm getting, is to be patient. And it's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard on me. I can't even imagine how hard it is for my daughter, which is her mom. I can't. So, Margaret, the reason I'm talking about this is that we all have those things that come up in our life as a child, as young adults, as old adults, that we never thought we would go through, right? Never thought. I cannot imagine Dr. LaWanna's pain when she lost her son in a car accident. I can't even imagine, and I have no clue why. But another thing my mother taught me was never ask God why. He has his reasons. I don't know. It's a lesson. It's a journey. I don't know, but we all have them. And no matter what age we are, guess what? We are going to continue to have them. And I'm with Margaret about being the best version of yourself. I have this slogan, and I made it up myself, and it is kind of like a Dr. Seuss thing. You are the only you there will ever be. Go out and be the best you that you can be. And it may sound, isn't it the truth? God did not make two LaDonnas, and I thank God for that. Because I would program her differently. I would create her a little differently, her mindset while she was a young adult. But you know what? It is what it is. And for some reason, God wanted me to go through the childhood that I did go through. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm the person I am today because of it. Maybe. Great. Dar, you have your hand up.
I have to agree with all of you on the topic of making God the center of your world, and helping you be the best version of you. And I don't know if Margaret knows if I lost my vision last month. But I didn't have any kids. I didn't grow up in a war, but I have stories that have built me to be who I am. And as I was growing up, I didn't know who to be because I had so many women around me that I looked up to, and it was like my mom and my grandmother and my other grandmother, and but the thing is, I grew up rebelling, and because my mom was so heavily involved in the Pentecostal church, And I just got tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over and over. And I took whatever time I could to get away from my parents and get away from having to go to that church. And guess what? Now I am living back in the area where that church is. I have not stepped foot in it yet, but I have a church, a really nice church. It's a Christian church. And we talk about, it's just an amazing group of people. And yeah, I believe I'm where I need to be.
That's
So
awesome, Star. That's awesome.
yeah, and it's been rough the last 5 years because of my health, but God is in control. And when I lost my vision from the whole time, I was in a great headspace because of LaDonna and the Powerhouses event. And I've been in good spirits through the whole thing. And it's just all I can think through the whole thing was I could still see through my other eye.
Right.
And yeah, I
That's,
would really hate to not be able to see all you beautiful women here. So
well, you know what? With your eyes or not, you're still a beautiful person, Dar, and you can vision in your headspace. And that's the beauty of having the headspace. I had eye issues right before Dar. They found spots in my eyes and in my nose and throat. We didn't know what those spots were. It was a little scary, but my blood work was perfect. So that told me that it probably wasn't anything horrible. Because when they said spots, I thought, oh, cancer. But my blood work was perfect. So I thought, you know what? No. But the good thing, when they were doing all of this surgery, 4 different surgeries, they went ahead and did the cataracts that I was needing, that I did not know that I needed until they started doing all the examination. And now I don't have to wear glasses except when I look at real small words. And they're just regular readers. So, I got something out of it. So I hope you get something out of your losing your vision, or somewhat losing your vision, dog.
thank you.
Grace, you have your hand up, my friend.
LaDonna, I think that's the right thing that you're doing regarding your granddaughter, is staying in touch with your son, because you can't stay in touch with her. But also, God speaks through his word, the Bible. And also for me, he speaks through certain pastors that I follow. And there was a great sermon from a pastor from California who I follow, that I watched last night. And LaDonna, I am going to send that to you, and where you should start listening, because there's first he has like announcements and commercials, and then all the singers singing, and then he starts. So yeah, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
And
Love
I'll
to.
send that to you. And that's that's how God speaks. And for example, that pastor, he said, well, this is what these words are in the original Greek. And it just makes everything clearer, you know. And and also I told you about Our Daily Bread, and that's just a little short passage. And first they give you a story from history, whether it's past history or close history, and then they show how that relates to a certain passage in the Bible. So that's always good to learn and to know,
Can you
and
send
to
us the link?
listen to how God speaks. Sorry?
Can you send us the link to the Daily Bread? The Daily.
Okay. I Yeah, I will. I will. Okay.
Awesome.
Um, okay, I'm done. So
Okay.
Margaret wants to speak.
Margaret.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you one of these days, if it's possible, if I come and teach and speak on how to hear God's voice.
Yes, I will get you on the calendar as soon as this is open. I'm going to see where we need that. That would be be awesome, because guess what? I don't think I'm the only one. As Dr. LaDonna has said the same thing. And I bet each and every one of us have probably went through that is, okay, where are you? Or sometimes, I know this is bad, that cloud gets so dark, and I know God's teaching me something by, the hot water heater going out and the car breaking and somebody is sick in the family and somebody's broken in the family. And I'm like, God, can you just move on to someone else? Come back to me again later. Am I the only one that feels like that when it's just pouring down? And then
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. If I'm thinking that, there's got to be others. And I always try to think positive by saying, well, somebody else is having a worse day than me.
The best way of that as well. I think I'm just going to cover a couple of things you ladies said. God speaks all the time. This is what I used to do when I first kind of learning about God's voice. And it's just reminding me. I used to say to God, like, okay, right, Holy Spirit, I need you. Jesus, I need you. Sovereign God. And now we're going to talk. No. I've got it in place with me. We're going to And funny enough, because it's coming from the heart, and at that moment, that single moment, I can actually feel the presence of God, that I'm actually before them. But I see myself as three massive, can't tell you what they look like, but I'm actually sitting on their feet on that, because it was so simple. I'll just say, I need you now. So he speaks all the time. It's just how we expect them. Now, LaDonna, you said something which is, I resonated so much. You couldn't be doing what you're doing if you never went through the trials. You couldn't be doing what you're doing right now if you didn't go through the fire. Because this is the word of God says. It says, you will go through the storms of life, but it will never take you out. You will walk through the hot desert, but I'm with you there. It said, you'll walk through the fire, but I'll be carrying you. And why is it? It's so that we
on the steel, I should say, to make us into what we need to be. But you know what's so interesting is that I had this same conversation last night on TikTok. It's so strange to be going through this all over again this morning. But it's great. Thank you, ladies. And just help reinforce what was going on last night. And
yes,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
great.
I want us to go over into the marketplace for just a few minutes. I know there's just only a few of us left because I guess Dar and Tamara had other things to do, and that's fine. So I want to go around the room and let everyone do a 2-minute presentation, pitch, whatever, of anything that you have on sale, services that you're providing. Maybe you have an event coming up. Let us know what it is and what you are doing. However you want to pitch it, you have 2 minutes, but you can only tell us about one item, just one item, one service, one event, whatever that may be. And we are going to start with Miss Margaret this morning.
Thank you so much. I love it when you say this morning, it's afternoon here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. For us, it's obviously we've got marriage versus singleness, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to it, the event and everything. So we got that coming. And for me personally, I am so passionate to celebrate those who have been married for a long time. Let's celebrate them. So the whole event is about celebrating those who've been married for such a long time, and also for us, the single people looking to get married, to learn from you guys. What kept you that long in that marriage? I love your story, LaDonna. I love it. What kept you that long there, so we can learn that. So we got that coming, and guess what? on the 12th of September, and it's actually my birthday on that day. So you all have to come. And I will be retiring in September. I'll be 66. So the event is a part of a celebration as well. So thank you so much. So, but every one of you, you're already on the flyer. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you, LaDonna. Thank you, Dr. Lawan, Grace. You're all there. So I look forward of seeing you all there. Thank you so much. God bless.
You say you're retiring, are you not
Congratulations.
having events any longer, or do you know yet?
No, I'm retiring stuff here in London.
Oh, okay,
In
got
the UK. Yeah, I do a lot of also, as much as I'm doing this, I still do training face to face because our organization, it is a charity. So we work with disadvantaged single fathers and men. So I've been running this workshop for the last 14 years. So I'm kind of taking a break on that and
Yeah.
focus more onto that. So yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't have to get up early in the morning to go into a classroom.
Exactly. We are spoiled. I like working at home. I
Yeah.
like working at home with my fur friends and, and I can take care of my home a little bit in between meetings. I love virtual. I do. All right. That's awesome. Can you please put the link to and everything into the chat, please? And then
Yes,
we're
I will.
going to go to Dr. Lawana.
Well, I don't have anything coming up. As soon as I get this move squared away, I'm planning on a couple of events, a speakers summit, and also a retreat. Now, the speakers summit, naturally, I'm excited about that, but the retreat is what I'm really excited about. It's going to be the end of the year thing, and I'm going to invite some speakers, not a lot of speakers, but here's the good part. It's not going to cost you anything to be a speaker. It's going to be a reward to the people who have supported me. And I'm just really excited. I'm planning on making that retreat special. Even though it's on Zoom, I want it to feel like you're really on a retreat. So I've got these ideas in my head and I'm hoping I can implement them. One other thing, though, I did want to mention, I'm sorry Dar's not here because I know she's interested in writing. I told her that I was going to start a one that's in the daytime. But you know what? It occurred to me, I should share my writing coach with you because she has sessions every day, Monday through Friday. They're free. But she does it every morning. She's not always there because she's got enough people who have been with her long enough that they can lead them for her. But she's such a great person and she's so helpful and so knowledgeable that you should go and you should try her. And I'll be happy to send a link to anyone that would be interested. It's every morning at 8 o'clock my time. And it's all about writing. And she answers any questions that you need. She does do workshops. That's where she charges when she does her workshops. But the writing sessions are for free and just a wonderful person to be connected with. I know she's not in our group and we normally promote people in our group, but I think that she is a person worthy of being promoted. I've seen her do so much for people.
Awesome. I would love for you to share that link with us, Dr. Lawana. Yeah. How about you, Grace? What's coming up in your world? What's going on?
Well, something that I can share with you is that there is a special, well, it's a deal that's ongoing with our coffee. If you order $50 worth or more, then your shipping is free. And this is a great deal, and I'll tell you why. Because the shipping is $18.75 just for shipping. So, yeah. So if you just order one box, you're gonna pay. It's like half of what a box, or even it depends. It's almost the same as what one box of black costs. It's about it's about half of what a box of King costs. And so it's a great deal to order $50 worth or more. Now that would be um $50 Canadian or more. So I'm not sure if it's $50 American or more, but it's because there is a difference between the Canadian and American, and there certainly is a difference between the what do you use? Is it still British pound sterling or is it
Oh, yeah,
something else?
British pounds. Yeah,
It's
pounds.
British pound sterling, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's a great deal. And the reason why you should order the coffee is because it helps wake up. I was up for like an hour before I had my coffee, and I was like, oh, hope I can wake up. And then I had my coffee, and I'm like, I'm awake, I'm alert, and ready to rock and roll. So, yeah, so that's the deal that I have for us. And Margaret has let me speak at her Love and Relationships, and I am gathering information and also from experience, since my husband and I will be married 39 years in a few days. Yeah, on the 24th of August.
Awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's
That's awesome.
congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, so for myself, I have a lot of things in the work to, I'm going to be changing up the membership a little bit. I'm going to be offering a lot of things online for just members. And I'm going to, everyone's not here and that's okay. You get to hear it first. One of the first things we're going to do, ladies, if you have an event, please let me know. We're going to start putting your events, not just in the newsletters, but also on the website under the membership. Okay. So Margaret, you need to send me the information about your event coming up so I can
Okay.
get that in the newsletter
Oh,
and
fantastic.
get that on the website. Now, when you go in to see it, you have to sign in on the membership portal. You should have your ID and passwords. We are going to resend those out this week because some people are telling me they don't have theirs. So we're going to resend them out, and you can change your password so that we don't have it. That's fine. What else? We're also going to start we already put recipes in the newsletter. We're also going to start putting them on the website under the membership portal. You're also going to have free classes on there from me, free small little bits and pieces of courses that might interest you in different areas. Also, if you have discounts, we're going to have discounts under the membership. How does that work? They will see your deal. So like Grace told us about the coffee deal. We can do the coffee deal. When they click that deal, it will go right on over to wherever Grace wants it to. Maybe she has a website, then they can order right away. Or if she wants it to go to her email, it will go to her email right away, whatever it is. So that it's another way for you to get new clients, for you to get new customers. So there are some things that go, and we're going to have inspirational quotes over there, puzzles, and quizzes, so that you can really start getting even more for your money through the website. So I hope that all of you will take advantage of that. And don't forget, today our new series starts, and I put the website in the link. If it is a money thing, don't let the money stop you. I do take payments. Just let me know and we will set up that payment plan so you can start the classes today. Like I said, I know Grace has already done the first class, but then she missed the other classes. But that's okay. Once you do it, you can come to that class as often as you want without paying so that you can have a refresher, because it's all about building you and your business and getting really deep into what your mindset needs to be. So I hope that I will see you ladies this afternoon. And if does anyone have anything else?
Is that link on your website? Because anything you put in before I came, I don't see.
But let me put the link back in here. I think I still have it. No, I do not. Hold on a second. Let me get it for you.
Yeah, it's
I also have, I didn't do a snapshot before Dar and Tamara left, but I do have a snapshot there. Please share it and
okay.
know where you've been and what you've been doing for, you know, the last hour and a half. I'm getting that link for you again, Dr. LaDonna. But yes, everything is on the website. Let's see here.
Okay. I also put the link into the lady that I was talking about who has the writing session. So
All right.
just I sent you, so I get some kudos.
Yes, absolutely. We always want you to share because we know if we're going there, you love her, so we're going to love her as well. At least we can trust her if it's coming from Dr. LaDonna.
I'm going to be in her 4th book coming out in the early part of 2025.
Awesome.
That's how much I trust her. I also like the way she does what's called her community project. I don't know if she's still taking people in, but it's like $99 to get in her book.
Oh,
And,
wow, that's inexpensive.
and you only have to write 200 words.
Awesome.
You get 2 pages, one with your contact information, a little bio about you and your picture, and your 200 that you write. And trust me, she believes no more. When she says no more than 200, that's what she means.
Well, she has it set up so that it works for that. So that's fine. All right. So if you're interested in the class, click on that link, share it, and most of all, go have your best day ever. Margaret.
I've looked at the link and everything. I won't be able to make today's one because I've got a meeting, but definitely I'll book at least one of the courses. So I've looked at them already, but I won't be able to make today's one.
Okay,
But
and if we keep
definitely.
evolving, you know, once this one's over, we'll do it again a little bit later. So,
Okay.
all right, ladies.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Have an amazing day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
And thank
God
you,
bless.
Margaret, for that message you gave us.
That was
Thank you. Look, thank you.